Right, everyone, last week we did some rapid fire objection handling. Today, we are going to go into detail on some of those objections and understand exactly what they mean. Do they break down into certain categories? And if so, what's the actual objection? Is it the words that they are saying? And how do we find out if it's not the real objection, where we have to pressure test the objection? That is what I'm going to show you today. But before we do that, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. That will do wonders for me in terms of getting my message out. I want to video share a clip I saw of my guy, Andy Elliott. You know, I'm a big fan of Andy Elliott. So
Come on up. What's up, girl? Okay, everybody listen real quick. Let's put her on the spot and see how good her game is. I'm going to role play with her for a minute. Is that cool? What do you do for a living?
I own a fitness coaching company.
Cool, fitness coaching company. Should she be the expert in the space with fitness coaching? Yes or no? So I'm talking to her. She's got a package. How much is it?
$4,500
Cool.
for 6 months.
Cool. I got a half a year package, $4,500. You primarily train females. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm going to hit her with an objection. You guys cool? So, hey, number one, I really appreciate it. Obviously, you have a great coaching program. I want to get in great shape, but I need to talk to my husband. By the way, I'm the female.
How do you hope that conversation goes?
I don't know. I hadn't had it.
Andy Elliott is brilliant at doing these live role plays, and actually it's a great way to learn. Now, as you know, she's a fitness coach. He's playing the female that's looking for a PT, but the female has a husband, and she has to run it past him, right? Hopefully you guys are following that.
Yeah, but I hope he supports me.
You told me you want to do this.
Mhm.
What do you think he's going to have to hear?
Let's
in
just go
order
back
to
a bit.
arrive at the same yes that you did?
I don't know. Obviously, you have a great coaching program. I want to get in great shape, but I need to talk to my husband. By the way, I'm the female.
How do you hope that conversation goes?
I don't know. I hadn't had it yet, but I hope he supports me.
You told me you want to do this.
Mhm.
What do you think?
How do you hope that conversation goes? Good question. Right? What do we think of that question? Guys, if you've got other questions that you'd ask at that point, drop them in the comments.
He's going to have to hear in order to arrive at the same yes that you did?
I don't know.
Again, follow it up. What do you think he's going to have to hear to get him to the same point that you are already at? This is good so far.
That's why I want to talk to him.
Do you feel like I've given you enough information on this
Yeah,
conversation?
you've been wonderful. You've been great. Everything you said is correct. Unfortunately,
Do you think I've given you enough information on this? That now smells a little bit desperate. You're losing control here, right?
when I spend money, I have to talk to my husband. No,
I totally understand that. Your husband knows we were having this conversation today?
no.
Do you guys have a rule in your marriage that there's like a certain spending amount you have to talk to him about, or is it just any amount of money?
We don't have any rules.
Perfect. When you go to Target,
Not sure this is the right avenue to go down in terms of the money route here.
and you go shopping and you buy a bunch of stuff and you spend a couple $100, do you have to okay that with him?
Everybody say friction. No, don't clap because she didn't close me. Don't take it easy on her because she's a woman. What could she have said? Let me ask you a question. Does your husband know that you've
What could she have said, guys? Let's hear it in the comments.
been struggling with this? Don't attack the money. She went after money. What we should go.
Exactly. Don't attack the money. Now you are creating what he's called friction, because if you go, well, you don't have to, she's basically saying, well, actually, you're your own person. You don't have to speak to your husband, right? You're okay to spend this money. When he said, I need to speak to my husband first, right? Don't go after the money side of it to try and get the deal closed there and then, because that creates friction.
Go after is pain. If he
Pain, right? What have we been talking about for the last however many episodes we've been doing this? Pain. We want to uncover pain. Let's see how he does it.
knew that you were struggling with this, and that there was a way to solve it so you would be happy, do you think that he would support it so that you wouldn't struggle with this anymore? Yes or no? Okay, let's reverse it. If your husband was struggling with this and he was talking to someone on the phone right now that could solve this problem so he wouldn't struggle with this anymore, and you knew about it, would you support him to fix it so he wouldn't struggle with it anymore? Yes. So it doesn't sound like to me that you need to talk to your husband. It sounds like to me, are you willing to commit to this? Because your husband's willing to support you with whatever you'll commit to.
Brought it back to her commitment, right? You seem sold on this. You already told me that your husband will support you in this. He already understands that this is an issue for you. This is something that's not going to be news to him, right? He already knows that you have an issue and he supports you wholeheartedly. So actually the question is, do I need to get the A-OK from my husband because he's already given you the support? The question is, are you willing to commit today to start changing your life for the next 12, 18 months, maybe forever?
And if you're really telling me and struggling with this and I can solve this right now, then let's do it. That's the close. We don't need to go into their financial budget. We don't need to ask them how they make decisions in all their other life. We need to go to the love point. So with that being said, let's do this. And the only regret you'll have is that you didn't do this 6 months sooner. What's your email address? That way I can send you over everything to get your password logged up, and I'm gonna go ahead and onboard you in the next 15 minutes. What payment method you want to use? I just move straight through. Okay, I know that some of you, your ego and pride is so big that you're like, I don't have to do that. You're right. You can keep missing money your whole life. You can keep missing deals. And by the way, those dream players you want on your team, they're not coming to join your team.
And this is why we keep showing up.
Yeah, but this though, this is what we do. You guys get it? All right, love you.
Say what you will about Andy Elliott. He is a closer, but he understands how to close. This isn't pressure selling. This is basically getting to the pain point. Now, how do we relay this to SaaS? Well, when they say, SaaS, I need to check the budget, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to get clearance by X, Y, and Z. Okay, yeah, cool. That's great. Let's put that to one side, right? What do we think about the product? Is it solving the problem? You told me at the start of this call that your targets have gone up as a team by 20% next year. I've just laid out how we can hit 25% because that's what we've just shown you. That's what you're leaving on the table right now. So we know that you coming on board to partner with us gets you past your target for next year. It actually exceeds it. So the question is, do we have budget for this? Look, you're not waiting around. You know, no business is waiting around for us to call you on the off chance that you've got budget just set aside for this. You have to decide as a business what your priorities are. Now, you told me the top priority is to hit target next year. Otherwise, there'll be cuts in the team and even your job isn't secure. Now, if that is the case, then you need to find a way to make sure you hit target, ideally exceed target. Everything we've gone through today has showcased to you how much money you're leaving on the table and how we will partner with you so you can get to target. Does it make sense to get the ball rolling sooner rather than later so we're not wasting time and eating into the year and cutting it really fine in terms of you hitting your target? Every day that goes by is a day that you're leaving money on the table, right? Businesses create budget for their priorities, okay? They don't just have budget lying around waiting for you. Now, Andy Elliott, he understands in B2C sales, we go again to the pain point. We don't just attack the budget, right? Well, okay, you said to me at the start of this call that there is budget for, tools and partners. What does that look like? Do you have access to your own budget? If you do, if you have access to your own budget, then surely you can just sign it off today, right? No, none of that. Go back to the pain point. Go back to the reason why you know they should be partnering with you. Even if they go budget and money related issues, we're not going to attack the money. Well, you told me you got your own budget, so surely just sign it off, right? It's obviously not as straightforward as that. We need to get them to understand that, hey, if you don't partner with us, you are currently tracking to miss target by 20% this year. That's going to lead, you told me, to job cuts. That's going to lead to streamlining of X, Y, and Z. That's going to limit your role if you even have a role left. Have I missed something? No. Okay, let's revisit the value adds. Can you see how we get you to recoup the money that you're leaving on the table, and so you can surpass your target this year and everyone goes home happy? Yes, I can, Neil. Great. What is the sign-off process? Okay, that's how you relate it to SaaS sales or sales in general, whichever field you're in, whether it's B2B, B2C. Hope you found that useful. Again, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to check out my 50 best discovery questions. They're in the description below. They are free. And those questions are what get you to pain. They're designed for you to understand and ask the right questions at the right time so you can uncover that pain. So when you hit obstacles further down the road, hey, I can show you all the bells and whistles. We can do that as setup though with customer service, because at the end of the day, we've got a ton of features, but I've already told you how to solve the problem you told me at the start of this call. You told me at the start of this call you had problem X, Y, and Z. I've showcased you how to solve X, Y, and Z. Sure, the bells and whistles piece will get that working for you during setup and customer success, and maybe we can help you hit 30% rather than 25%. Sound good? Let's get the ball rolling. Excellent. Get them back on track because you've uncovered pain and you keep hitting them over the head with it. The discovery questions are free. Download your copy now. Now, we said at the start of this podcast, we're going to break down some key objections that we ran through last week in a rapid fire objection handling. If you missed that, go and check out last week's podcast, quick fire objection handling. What we're going to do today is take a handful of those objections and break down the psychology behind them, what they actually mean, and how we pressure test to find out what the real objection is. We started last week with timing and budget objections. The timing isn't right, maybe next quarter. Now, the response was no problem at all. I can circle back then, just so we're on the same page. What's happening next quarter that will make this more relevant than it is today? We have to understand why we're asking that question. Why do we ask that question? What else could we ask? The timing isn't right, maybe next quarter. No problem, I'll circle back then. That is a big epic fail. We know we're not doing that. We need to pressure test this objection. And why do we need to pressure test it? We don't know whether we can take it on face value. The timing isn't right, maybe next quarter. That could mean a bunch of things. That could mean the timing isn't right, maybe next quarter. But what else could it mean? It could just be a fob off. I don't know who you are. I don't have any trust or faith in you. I've got a ton of things on my plate right now. Hey, look, timing's not right. Shout me next quarter. Just an easy way to get your phone, right? So we pressure test. No problem at all. I can circle back then just so we're on the same page. What's happening next quarter that will make this more relevant than it is today? If they come back with a very vague answer, well, yeah, I've got a bunch of priorities I'm dealing with right now, but yeah, it should be probably more relevant next quarter. You've learned nothing except that they are just trying to get you off the phone, and next quarter they'll probably tell you the same thing. We haven't got to the real objection. The real objection is probably somewhere in between. I haven't got time for this right now. This isn't a priority right now. I just don't know who the hell you are, and I don't trust you, and I'm busy. So that's why we ask them this. Pressure test the timing isn't right. If they give you a wishy-washy answer that makes no sense, look, I've been doing this for a while. From my experience, it seems actually more rather than timing, you've just got a ton of other priorities. This just isn't one of them. Is that fair for me to say? Yeah, that's fair. Great. Can I just ask, what is your top priority right now? Or what are your top 3 priorities right now? That's how you progress the conversation. There's no guarantee that they're going to tell you, but you've now figured out what the timing isn't right, maybe next quarter means. Yeah. Equally, hey, they might say, well, Neil, I'm actually dealing with X and Y right now, but why that links to Z and your business is because of this. So I need to get the CRM sorted first. But the aim is after we've got the CRM sorted and everything integrated, we are going to need some data, right? That's why it's going to be relevant. But right now we're getting everyone acclimatized to the new CRM shift. That is why I can't do that with you right now. Okay, great. Now you know that actually the timing isn't right. All right. It's really about pressure testing their initial objection. We don't have the budget allocated for this year. I completely get it. Budget cycles are a reality. Out of curiosity, if we could prove the ROI pays for itself in year, would it be worth shifting priorities? Straight to the point. We don't have budget allocated for this year. Who does, though? Who has budget allocated for a tool that they haven't inquired about? If you've reached out to them, they're not waiting for your call. They're not sitting around waiting. Hey, Neil's going to call me. Let me just allocate some budget to this. Yeah, we don't have budget allocated for this year. Again, sounds like a fob off, right? Pressure test it. Budget cycles are a reality. I get it. But if we could prove the ROI pays for itself in year, would it be worth shifting priorities? No, not just now because, we've got X, Y, and Z to deal with. It's just not. Okay, great. Now you know where you stand. There's just zero interest there. But the reason we ask this is actually really pressure testing, because if they say no, it's not, hey, look, sorry to call you out, but I've just said that the ROI will pay for itself in year. Why wouldn't that change things? Just to, I guess, clear up my confusion, because for me, it just would make sense, right? Try and have that type of curious conversation. No, instead of going, if they say, no, actually, that would make no difference whatsoever. Okay, no problem. That's fine. I'll, what time are your budgets allocated? Well, when are your budgets allocated? Next year, January or April. Okay, great. I'll give you a call then. You've not done your job. You ain't got anywhere, right? Pressure test them, push them. Listen, I've just given you an incentive to have a look at us, but you're shutting it down. And to me, it makes no sense. If the ROI pays for itself within a year, surely if we improve that, it would be ludicrous for the business not to look at something like that, right? Again, pressure test to find out what the real objection is. I need to run this by the CFO before we can proceed. Got it? CFO approval is critical. If they were on this call right now, what do you think their biggest concern about the business case would be? Why do we ask this question? We ask this question to see if there really is interest from your champion. The person you're speaking to should be a champion. If they were on this call right now, what do you think their biggest concern about this business case would be? Oh, no, nothing. Everything looks good. Right, hold on. Everything looks good. Listen, most CFOs I speak to and deal with, they typically have a mandate not to spend money, especially in the market that we're in right now. What bit in particular do you think they would be buzzing about to sign this off when there's a clear shift in the SaaS space that CFOs are actually holding back? Pressure test them. Because if they say that, it's just a case of, okay, cool, I've got it now, but actually I don't even see the value in it. That's what I'm hearing, right? If they respond like that. Now, if they go, this looks great, I need to run this by the CFO before we can proceed. Got it. CFO approval is critical. If they're on the call right now, what do you think their biggest concern about business case would be? Well, Neil, you know what it's like with CFOs. It is going to be price, but I think if I can show the right ROI, we should be able to get this over the line. Okay. Now, this is a legit objection. Absolutely fine. Would it make sense to loop in the CFO? We can run through the business case, you and I together, get the approval from your CFO, and then you and I can complete the process just ourselves and let the CFO get on with everything else that they're doing right now. Does that sound doable? Yes, Neil, I think that's a great idea, actually. I'm going to leverage it. Or actually, Neil, it's probably the CFO doesn't jump on any meetings with anyone. Okay, no problem at all. Let me go through this business case with you line by line and showcase the ROI. So when you're showcasing it internally, I can help you get this over the line for you, because you clearly want this in the business, right? Because you can see the value and you can see how you can go from X to Y to Z over the next 12, 18 months. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, great. Let's sit down. Let's go through the business case. Have you got half an hour this afternoon? Because I really want to build out that ROI and equip you with everything you're going to need to get the AOK from the CFO internally. Yes, I do, Neil. No problem. Or actually, tomorrow might work better. Absolutely fine. Let's go through it. Pressure test. Are you getting the premise of today's podcast? Right. We're in a hiring freeze budget cut period. Of course you are. Totally understand. Things are tight everywhere. Since you can't add headcount, is there an appetite to see how automation could pick up the extra slack? Now, what else could we ask here? We're in a hiring freeze budget cut period. Okay, cool. You know what? You're not the first business I've spoken to this week that actually is saying that. I get it. The market's complex at the moment. Do you mind me asking, what's driving that freeze? What's driving that budget cut period? Yeah. Dig down. Listen. The alternative is just get off the phone and, speak to them when they're not in a freeze period. Or pressure test them. I'll just be really curious. Hey, you're not the first business I've spoken to this week. I spoke to XYZ business. They're in a budget cut freeze because of ABC reason. Is that the same for you? Yes, it is, Neil. Oh, no, it's not, Neil. Okay, progress the conversation. That's the whole point of it. Or you can go down this route. Totally understand that things are tighter everywhere. Since you can't add headcount, is there an appetite to see how automation could pick up the extra slack? Interesting. What do you mean, Neil? Let me show you. Yep. Guys, it's all about pressure testing. We want to pressure test these objections because most of these objections that you get will fall into one of four brackets: price, product, time, trust. And in fact, they all link back to trust, because if they trust in you, they'll trust that you're getting the right price for them. They'll trust it's the right product for them, and they will make time for you. All right. So just understand, objections on the surface, they may not be exactly what they sound like. They may not be telling you the real objection. We need to pressure test every objection through clever questioning. And I said to you at the start of this podcast, or earlier in this podcast, 50 free discovery questions. They are free. Download your copy. They will help you ask the right questions at the right time to the right people to understand exactly what's going on in the business, to understand what an objection means and what questions to ask when you get those objections. But always going with a curious mindset. If it doesn't make sense, don't get off that call until it makes sense. I'll say that again. If it doesn't make sense, don't get off that call until it makes sense. Because once you're off that call, it's gone. Done. You can't ring them again. Not for another 3 months or whatever you agreed when you got off the phone to them. Push them. You've got their time. Make sure you maximize it. Guys, that's it for another episode of the Sell the Future podcast. I really hope you enjoyed that. There's some really, really key things and key takeaways from this particular podcast, as there always is. Andy Elliott, superstar seller. I think you can apply it to every aspect of sales. Yes, it's B2C sales, but the way he questions and then directs to a close is up there with some of the best sellers in the game. Do not sleep on it. And if you're confused as to, well, Neil, he's B2C and I'm in SaaS, how do I relay that to me? drop me a line in the comments. I will respond to every single one. All right? And then the objection handling. Understand what each objection means and understand how to progress the conversation in each of them. Understand the psychology behind it. Understand what the real objection is. Pressure test your objections. Guys, if you haven't had enough of me and you want more, click on this video right here and I'll see you guys in there.